How to start and actually run a law firm. So I've done a lot of legal explainers on this channel, but this series is for lawyers and future lawyers, and it's how to start and run your own law firm. You might feel like it's a daunting task. You may wonder if you're cut out to run a law firm and if it's something that you can actually do. My opinion is that it's better for lawyers, for clients, and for society when more attorneys start their own law firms. I think you can, and I think you should. So who am I to say this? Well, I started my law firm when I had been practicing for really only a little over 2 years, although I had a clerkship in there. But I was young and relatively light on experience. And I just remember feeling like, who am I to think I can start a law firm? But I felt like it was something I should do. And it turns out it was the best professional decision I ever made. It's worked out so far. So I want to share everything I've learned along the way with you. I love biographies. I love learning from people's good and bad experiences as they travel down a road that I want to travel. So I'm going to start this series by telling you a little bit about my story. I was a young associate at a fairly large law firm focused on commercial litigation. It was a good law firm. It was a great learning experience, and I like all the people and all that, but it was also kind of a stereotypical or traditional sort of big law experience where you're working very hard for clients you'll probably never meet, and it may or may not line up with your idea of why you went to law school in the first place. Like I said, it was a great firm, great people. I learned a lot, but it was just very clear that it was not for me. So really only about a year into that experience, I started planning for my own law firm. I would be the person watching this video right now if it existed at the time. So I spent a year planning, saving up money, building up courage. And I think I planned everything out as well as I could, except for, the small matter of getting clients. I had no clients. Certainly none would come with me from my old firm. Fortune 100 type client isn't going to come with me to start my own firm. So that was a real leap of faith. But when I hit the 2-year mark at that firm, I put in my notice, and I was very intentional about going around to almost every attorney's office at that firm and letting them know what I was planning on doing, that I was starting a firm to try to focus on modest means clients and small businesses. I thanked them for their mentorship along the way and just let them know a little bit about my plan. It was a really great way to exit a job because I didn't burn bridges. And in fact, that firm became my best referral source for probably several years. But one thing that stood out to me about that experience of putting in my notice was that I would say maybe even the majority of attorneys I talked to at the firm, when I told them I was leaving, said something along the lines of, I wish I could do that. I wish I could have done that earlier. I wish I'd done it before I had financial obligations. I would do that if I had the courage to do it. Some variation of that sort of longing, wishing they could start their own law firm. This really shocked me because these were a lot of people that I thought were gung-ho about, big law life. So it's something I'm thinking about now as I focus more on empowering people to go out there, take that leap, start their own firm. It also validated my decision at the time to start my firm early because I didn't have the financial obligations that I would develop later in life. Golden handcuffs, you might have a mortgage on a house, really nice house, expensive financial commitments like that, and that can be a deterrent for people to start their own firm. So really, there's no time like the present. If you feel you're not experienced enough as an attorney to start your own firm, there are a lot of resources out there, and we can talk through those in this video series. But anyway, back to me. I left the firm, and your first day of your new law firm, it can be anticlimactic because it was just me at home, sending out emails quietly, making phone calls to people to let them know what I was doing. I used a virtual office the first few years to keep costs low. I gamified my business development. That's something we'll talk about in this video series as well, how to do that. And what I found was just old school networking was the best thing, and doing relationship-based referrals. That slowly built up enough for me to make a living and then replace my salary that I'd been receiving at the law firm. And it happened, I think, more quickly than I would have expected, but that's because deep down, I'm sort of a pessimist. I think I'm a pessimist who believes in himself. Anyway, eventually I started up building up enough business to hire other people, and that's where a law firm owner can really build value for themselves so that you're not the only person on that hamster wheel at all times. You can be doing something with your family and income is still being generated because of cases you've originated. That's an incredible feeling and something that I would encourage you to strive for, and we'll talk about how to do that. So anyway, I was just able to gradually hire, build up capacity, try to increase the amount of business coming into the into the firm and do that cycle on repeat so that we were expanding to meet demand and build capacity. So it was increased demand, increased capacity, increased demand, increased capacity. Eventually, we expanded to other states and gradually added a larger team to create a valuable and sustainable business. Another huge part of building a firm was learning how to create systems and be efficient so that we could be more profitable with less revenue than a traditional law firm would expect. This gave rise to another business that I've started, by the way, a tech company called Practist. How that started was eventually I was so frustrated with the existing tech solutions for law firms that I built my own, and after my firm used it with some good success, we decided to make a business out of it, which I co-founded with a wonderful software developer. It's called Practist, and we'll be talking about how we use that to my firm's best advantage in this video series as well. We certainly invite you to be a user too. You can think of it as a replacement for Clio or MyCase or software like that, but it's much more focused on helping you start a law firm through education, marketing, efficiency, and just ease of use. So it's really a law firm in a box, especially for newer or more innovative firms and people starting firms. So that's Practist. But now, back to the law firm. We were going strong. We were up to 20-some lawyers. We're serving 14 states now, and I just want to share everything I've learned along the way and everything I'm still learning to help you get out there and do it too. You know, build your dream and make it into a reality. That's what this video series is all about. So if you're an experienced attorney looking to make a move and take that leap on your own, this video series is for you. If you're a brand new baby lawyer wondering if it's too early and too audacious to start your own firm, this video series is for you. If you're a law student or aspiring lawyer who's trying to visualize the path ahead, this video series is for you as well. I hope you enjoy the series and that you derive some value from it and it helps you do this thing because, like I said, I believe that when more attorneys start their own firms, it's better for the attorneys, it's better for clients, and it's better for society. I hope you enjoy the videos. Comment, like, subscribe. Check out Practist, and thank you so much for watching.